The man bit off his ureter. While the doctor wasn't looking, he quietly wrapped it around his wheelchair and took it back to his room. Then he broke a biscuit into pieces, crushed the biscuit repeatedly with the wheelchair. He poured the powder into the 4-tube, blew hard. The marks on the combination lock immediately became clear. He successfully calculated the password using an equation algorithm, and the next thing to do was wait. However, an opportunity came the next day. On the way to the laboratory, the alarm suddenly went off in the entire building. The staff were in a panic. The man took the chance to escape. He went to his girlfriend's room. He pulled his unconscious girlfriend and ran together. Using the calculated time, he accurately avoided all the staff. But just around the corner, his girlfriend's hospital bed suddenly got stuck. The man had to go back to adjust its position, seeing that a staff member was about to find them. Fortunately, the man pulled the hospital bed away in time. At this moment, the exit was within sight. Suddenly, another staff member happened to pass by. The man was completely panicky. He was so scared that he couldn't move. Sweat kept dripping down from his face. But, unexpectedly, the staff member completely ignored them. So the man seized the opportunity. He took his girlfriend and sprinted all the way to the last door. However, when he reached out to test, he found that the distance was too far. It seemed that everything was about to succeed. Unfortunately though, they were still discovered. The man fell into complete despair. He never thought. They just found a strange house in the desert. But after a flash of white light, he suddenly lost consciousness. When he woke up again, he couldn't move. And on the other side sat a man in a spacesuit. He claimed to be a doctor. It turned out that the small house they found that night was a spaceship hidden on Earth by aliens. That meant they had a close encounter of the first kind with aliens. So to confirm that the man wasn't contaminated, in the days to come he would help the man gradually recover his memory. However, a few days later, the man gradually realized the people here were all carrying out some weird tasks, and his daily training was to answer some boring questions. By chance, he suddenly sought his unconscious girlfriend. Only then did the man realize something was wrong, so he planned a detailed escape plan. However, as expected, they were still caught back by the guards. But this time when he woke up again, he saw an even weirder scene. The man's leg was transformed into a mechanical one. He couldn't quite believe it, but as he looked at the base of the mechanical leg embedded in his muscle, it seemed to have merged with his body as one. He quickly lifted his underwear to check. Fortunately, the most important part was still there, but when he saw his girlfriend lying beside him, the man suddenly realized they needed to escape this weird research institute as soon as possible. So he struggled to stand up. Using all his strength, he kicked open the door with one foot. Then he broke through the obstacles. Finally, he successfully escaped with his girlfriend. However, they had no idea a more bizarre experience was about to come. They arrived at a gas station. The man placed his girlfriend next to a truck. He ran inside to make a call for help, but not only could he not get through, he even saw his wanted picture on the TV. So he hurried back to the truck, only to find his girlfriend being forcefully taken away by the driver. The man immediately chased after them frantically. The driver stepped on the gas pedal to the floor. At this moment, the performance of the mechanical leg was accidentally activated. In just a few seconds of acceleration, he caught up with the truck in an instant. At this point, even God couldn't help. The driver had to let them take the truck away, but they hadn't driven far. They were blocked by a huge canyon. The road ahead was completely cut off, so they drove in another direction. Strangely enough, they couldn't get around this canyon no matter what. Feeling helpless, they had to hide in a house. Unexpectedly, they met a good friend here. It turned out that his good friend was the one who triggered the alarm that day. He told the man. Each of them had the same number engraved on their bodies. Adding up all the numbers gave 51, so they were most likely trapped in the legendary Area 51. After saying that, he took off his gloves, revealing his modified hands. He said there was only one way to get out of here, so they decided to rush out and tell everyone the truth. The next day they got in the truck and left the town along the only road. But soon, their way was blocked. The good friend tried to force his way through the checkpoint, but was stuck in place by a suddenly rising stone pillar. In the chaos, the good friend was unfortunately shot, but to help the man escape from here, he used all his strength to punch and destroy the stone pillar. In this way they successfully passed the checkpoint, and the good friend sacrificed himself with that final blow. However, they hadn't driven far when they encountered the doctor's team. The truck rolled over instantly after running over a roadblock. The man could only watch as his girlfriend was taken away again. And at this moment the doctor finally revealed the truth of the matter. It turned out that the man himself was the alien hiding on Earth. He was the most perfect product of the doctor's fusion of human consciousness and alien technology. The man found it hard to accept such a truth. Suddenly, he unleashed all his strength. Even his mechanical leg was filled with flames. In just an instant, the man rushed across the bridge at high speed. Even the soldiers' bullets couldn't couldn't catch up with him. The next second, he seemed to break through a barrier, entering a completely different space. When he turned around, he saw the doctor slowly walking to the end. Then the doctor took off his helmet, revealing his mechanical brain. The man was extremely shocked. He turned around and looked out the window. It turned out that he had been in a huge alien spaceship all along, and the number of the spaceship was exactly 23541. That meant he had been in a huge laboratory from the very beginning. He never had a chance, and would never be able to escape from here.